Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. We are here for another review Jive, and since it is real close to when it came out, we are reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong.
That's
which
right.
came out this year, like
a week ago.
4 days ago or something.
4 days ago.
Yeah,
something
it came out like 4
that.
days ago for us. We watched it over the weekend. It was on HBO Max, so we watched it there. We're not doing theaters or whatever. I think it's this is one of the ones that's also coming out.
Oh, I have zero idea. I have no desire to go to a theater right now and see a movie.
I'm not doing that. I got a big TV. We'll be fine.
Yeah. And we have beer and pizza.
Yeah, dude. You know how expensive it is to drink at a movie theater? Oh my god, dude. We were spending fortunes on that. Yeah. So we watched Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, it was something.
Spoiler-free review. Wait for it to come out onto another service. Like, if you have HBO, watch it. If you don't have HBO, you don't need to try hard to watch this. If you think what Godzilla vs. King Kong is, probably thinking too hard. I don't think the writers thought this hard. I don't think the director thought this hard. Certainly everybody involved in it didn't think this hard. So
that's correct.
Don't try that hard. Just let it happen.
You get a fairly good gist of it from the trailers as well.
Yeah. So,
but it's fairly simple regardless. It's Godzilla v. Kong, and then there's like other stuff thrown in there.
Yeah, so
that was spoiler free.
That was spoiler free. We're gonna get into spoilers. Before we get into spoilers, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and listen to our podcast and follow us on Patreon or whatever the fuck. So let's get into the spoiler version of that. The plot of this movie is non-existent. The reason why this movie exists is my best guess, just to make money singularly. Well, this is a dumb fucking...
The reason why it exists is so we can watch Godzilla and King Kong and eventually Mechagodzilla fight each other. Because the plot of this movie is King Kong exists in the Hunger Games bubble on Skull Island, and they have to keep him secret because Godzilla will come and get him. But like randomly, Godzilla just like wanders around the globe.
Why didn't Godzilla come and get him before?
Destroying things, and they have to have King Kong go to the center of the earth.
He needs to go underneath the crust to the hollow earth.
To the hollow earth.
Yeah.
Because in this, the earth is hollow.
Yeah,
it is not flat.
In fact,
the Earth is essentially
in
a
all
Cheerio.
iterations of Kong and Godzilla, I believe they exist on a hollow Earth.
Oh, maybe I
think. Correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I'm quite certain that in all iteration of Godzilla and King Kong, insofar as King Kong wasn't just like a monkey on an island, it has involved the like hollow Earth idea or whatever. This movie is a series of like pieced together action shots and humans delivering exactly enough lines for you to be like, fucking sure, yeah. And then just more stuff. Yeah. Nobody talks very much in this.
It's basically just like a series of vignettes.
This is such a
that
bad
are centered around or in between fight scenes.
Yeah. And even, like the fight scenes are pretty good, I guess. I don't know.
Fight scenes are okay.
There are several fight scenes where the CGI is like quite boo-boo titty fucks. There's that scene when Godzilla gets like thrown against the rocks or whatever or a building or something like that, and you're like, wow, they decided not to finish rendering Godzilla in this. What is or King Kong in this? Like, what is happening? Remember that he gets thrown back into like it's like a stark drop in quality for a second.
My least favorite fight scene for this is when he's on the boat. Godzilla's on the boat. King Kong is on the boat, and Godzilla is coming for him. Yeah. And Godzilla is on, like, basically the largest, aircraft carrier
King Kong.
container. King Kong.
And actually, he's on a ship mover.
Yeah.
That ship is designed to like sink, and then you weld a ship to it and then float up.
So big that like the perspective difference in how big he is in a city and also versus Godzilla is totally.
I feel like there's no consistency in sizing in this fucking movie, like at all.
Yeah.
He is big enough next to everything that he needs to be big enough against.
That is true. That's super true.
Everybody's size is just like whatever works.
He like jumps onto a different ship.
From the ship mover to a battleship, and then from the battleship to an aircraft carrier.
And somehow
an aircraft carrier can handle that kind of weight.
None of these ships are buckle underneath the weight of this.
Well, listen, the ships don't buckle underneath the weight, but they definitely get destroyed.
Yeah.
The plot of this movie is how many fucking humans can Godzilla and King Kong kill?
God.
The argument, the whole fucking thing of this movie is like Godzilla swims up the fucking whatever, right? And he just like starts all of a sudden lasering fucking Cyberdyne Evil Cybernetics Incorporated or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And they're like, we thought Godzilla was on our side. He must not be on our side anymore because he blew up this one very specific port building. Very specific.
Yeah.
And they're like,
specific.
and so the whole world unanimously is like, well, these guys are doing good, so like clearly Godzilla's the evil one. As opposed to knowing for a fact that Godzilla hunts down other kaiju and assuming that these guys were doing sketchy shit with kaiju, right? On top of that, there's a podcaster who arguably is my favorite character in this movie, by the by, who's like...
He is the best.
Who's like uncovered the truth that these guys are doing something bad. It doesn't fucking matter, right? Then him and Millie Bobby Brown, who's whatever, and that really funny Australian kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They decide to sneak in, which they're able to do, no security, and then they sneak all the way down to a secret, like a secret pod thing, and then they get locked in that, and then they travel from, like, Georgia to Hong Kong via underground tunnels at some astronomical speeds inside of this fucking pod thing. But this is the crazy part. You know what was in that pod thing? Those fucking laser raptors or whatever they're called. Skull murderers or whatever the fuck. No idea. Right? But we never see any of them.
They never use them.
They never use them. Which is like, what the fuck?
Even though
so dumb.
Even though Godzilla and King Kong and eventually Mechagodzilla are just tearing apart Hong Kong.
Okay.
Guys, after this movie is done, it is safe to say that there is no Hong Kong. It's like in a cartoon when like a building explodes and then the
like
cartoon character like pokes it,
flips over.
Like there's no,
it's ridiculous.
Hong Kong is gone.
It's ridiculous. And they're like, we're gonna evacuate Hong Kong. Every scene shows people running around. So the evacuation didn't work very good.
No, not at all.
And and they're constantly doing this where they're just like, we gotta turn off the ship so it looks like we're dead, so that way Godzilla doesn't get us, and King Kong decides to like be okay with that, even though
just like
I don't know how he understands, right?
It's
but then it just jump cuts to like Kong in a fucking mesh net being held by 400 helicopters
of varying sizes.
And they're like different helicopters all the way to Antarctica. And like whatever, some of those helicopters don't have the range for that. And like whatever, maybe those helicopters couldn't have lifted it, and that's not how that works. But also, how do they get him onto the helicopter? What's going on? And it's like when they're like, oh, we would love to go to the Hollow Earth part of the Earth, but like the gravity, whatever the fucks about getting there are super, we can't do it. And the lady's like, don't worry, we got gravity ships, and they got 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just okay. Like nobody's heard of them, but everybody's okay with using them.
One of the things that didn't make sense to me, there's a lot of things in this movie.
But
one of them, the one that stands out the most to me, is in the beginning, they're like, oh, the scientist, he like has this hollow earth theory, and then like some rich businessman / government evil guy is like, hey, I heard about your hollow earth theory, it's super rad, like I think it's legit, so like why don't you come with me? And then there's no indication of how much time passes in between this and when Kong arrives in the helicopter.
Movie, no difference.
But this was only a theory that was a hollow earth, and by the time Kong and the helicopters get to Antarctica, there's already a giant tunnel with like bracings in there. Guys, if you've seen AVP, it's literally the same tunnel.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, like Kong and Godzilla to AVP called it.
But when they show the map of these hollow earth tubes extending from the hollow earth to the upper crust, like there is a ton of tubes, guys. Yes. Couldn't you find one that wasn't, I don't know, Antarctica?
Well, so there's a throwaway line about how like him and his dad or mentor or teacher or some bullshit like that both tried to get into the hollow earth and like everybody died.
Yeah.
And like they're doing research to get to the hollow earth, but like anything that they send in dies. So they don't know what's in there.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why they built these gravity things, so because they think that it's gravity. Also, the way that the earth works in this universe is crust, some rocks, wormholes, and then like some more rocks, and then air and light and shit, and then like a regular spheroid inside. So you could be on the inside of the hollow earth against, like, upside down against the bottom of the crust, or you can be standing on the core. Both are fine, by the way. It's okay.
Yeah.
And there's air and shit in there.
And light.
And like light.
There's like natural sunlight.
And like lava, but it's not too hot or anything. It's nice.
And it doesn't fall downwards either. Or upwards.
Well, it does. On the core part, everything falls towards the center of the core. And on the crust part, everything falls towards the outside of the crust. Right? But there's a very thin line in the middle part where glowy blue rocks just float there, so that way you can see that there's a line. That's super nice of them. But whatever, like Kong gets a dumb axe made out of a dinosaur scale.
A Godzilla scale.
A Godzilla scale. And, like, the bad lady is obviously bad.
Yep.
And they just have to, like, text. She just texts her dad, like, the frequency of the Hollow Earth superpower is this. And he's like, turn on my machine. We know the frequency. So I don't know what the fuck that means. And then they pilot the machine because the machine has a Ghidorah skull in it. But then their pilot is also inside of a Ghidorah skull. What happened to the third skull?
We don't know. We'll probably find out in a subsequent movie.
That's the skull on Skull Island. It's not. It's because this island is shaped like a skull. So yeah, whatever. And they're able to communicate because the skull is the part of the animal that's telepathic, not the
brain,
alive part or whatever.
But
that doesn't work out super well because when they feed it the core energy, it becomes sentient and then through telepathy microwaves the pilot's brain, and then it ends up having to be beat up by Kong and Godzilla. I mean, this is the thing.
I mean, it makes as much sense in the movie as it makes sense to us to explain.
I mean, this is the thing. It's a dumb movie. There's really no good part of it. My favorite character is the podcast guy.
Nope, there are good parts. The good part, the part that I enjoy the most,
was kind of absurd,
is the like neon vibey aesthetic that all of the fight scenes have.
Oh yeah, because Hong Kong is like beautiful.
Yeah. Everything is like neon vibe, and Godzilla is like neon blue, and there's like glowy rocks that are like neon. Like everything's got like kind of like a dark
brightly
neon
colored
look.
You know what? At least they're not doing the dark and gritty realism thing. So
I'm very into the dark neon vibe.
Also, like Godzilla breathes nuke breath all the way down to the hollow earth part.
Which is horrifying because at one point he breathes it straight up into the air, and I'm just like, man, I hope there's no satellites up there.
Or, you know, like a planet
or like a
orbiting
plane.
through or anything. Yeah. So
guys, we've had it wrong this whole time. Quasars don't kill planets. Godzilla does.
Godzilla just breathes up, kills planets. That's how that works. Yeah.
It emanates from Earth 616.
Yeah. This movie. It's just like this is a great popcorn movie if you just want to watch like two kaiju fight. It's not as good as a bunch of better kaiju movie. But like it's okay, I guess.
It's good, and there's like some funny bits. There are some weirdly anthropomorphized bits for both Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah,
and
Godzilla like cackles at one point in time, and you're like, oh, what? No.
Yeah, and Kong like takes a shower, guys. That's not how. There's
a bunch of weird shit that never gets explained, or gets explained in a slightly dumber way than if they hadn't explained it, which is always just fantastic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just say, like...
This was worth a watch, not worth a think.
Yeah. Don't go out of your way to watch it. You know, I'm like...
Unless you're really into Godzilla and King Kong, like, by all means, get that out of your, system.
Maybe watch a better Godzilla movie if you're a huge Godzilla fan.
I like the original, well, not the original.
I like
the newer US reboot.
Oh, yeah, I did not.
I liked it.
No, those were awful.
Except why doesn't have
Toho's
a
Godzilla. Like, I like proper Godzilla, but
I do too.
these newer Godzilla movies are just they lack any degree of like soul or spirit to them, in my opinion. They're just. It feels a lot like, well, Pacific Rim can no longer make movies, so we might as well try to, make giant monster movies. And I guess they're doing a good job, but like. Mechagodzilla was fucking weird, like super weird, and you know, it's like there was not enough human, but also not enough giant monster.
But also it was like a little too okay with conspiracy theory stuff.
No, I'm totally okay with the conspiracy theory thing.
In a time where we probably shouldn't, like, incentivize people to be okay with conspiracy theories.
Yeah, man, don't conspiracy theory. Or conspiracy theory, and we work for the man. Whatever you gotta do to sleep at night. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, none of that matters. This movie is just like, if you, like, it's not bad, I don't regret watching it, I will probably never see it again.
We'll probably watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we put it on, I'm doing other things. There was nothing really like visually the movie was pretty good except for a few weird CGI spots. But I'm just gonna assume that that's like whatever. But yeah, I don't know. There was just like nothing. There was like no characters that were grounding. Everybody and every single thing in this movie was just like giant eagles. The whole fucking movie. Everybody had exactly the right amount of knowledge to accomplish the task that they had, regardless of 5 scenes earlier, somebody just learning about this piece of technology, or like, you know, whatever. There were some good one-liners, but it's also 80% of the script was just action movie one-liners, and I love 80s action movies, so like 80s action movie one-liners. Like, that was the dopest part of the movie. But, yeah, I mean, I think my best bit was probably the last fight, just because that was pretty fun. You know, they all got their go. The Godzilla, the King Kong axe was kind of badass. I can't wait to see that in like cosplays and such. Yeah. Like, that's my thing, is like, where are we gonna get cosplays on this? Like, what are we gonna do with it? And I like that this version of Godzilla has a huge badonka ass, a huge Pixar mom badonka ass.
Very pear-shaped.
It's very pear-shaped. It's great. It's great. Yeah. Yeah, either way, I've been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This has been Review Jive. We watched Godzilla vs. King Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla vs. I was just like, oh, it's a King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's not important. Godzilla vs. Kong, which just came out on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. If you have HBO, do yourself a favor and watch it. If you don't have HBO, wait patiently. It'll come out. Don't worry. Yeah. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.